What's Good Miami Beach is sponsored by noted plastic surgeon Dr. Baruch Jacobs and the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center. Dr. Jacobs has been referred to by the New York Times as a plastic surgeon who keeps Miami Beach beautiful. Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery has a state-of-the-art operating room and offers medical aesthetic services and VIP hotel and surgical packages. We invite you to contact us to enjoy a consultation and experience What's Good Miami Beach at the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center.
Hey, what's good Miami Beach? I'm Jerry Libin, proud to be president and CEO of the Miami Beach Chamber of Commerce. And our show is devoted to bringing you, residents and tourists alike, good news stories about things that are happening in and around our city. You know, it's easy to open up a newspaper today anywhere in the world, and what you're going to see are things that happen, tragedies, travesties, all negative stories by and large. Turn on the TV, same thing. So we wanted to bring to the public opportunities to meet people and hear about the good things happening in and around our city. And today I'm really pleased to bring to our show Herb Sosa. He is a good news story all by himself. Herb, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Jerry, and back at you. I've admired you and all the great community work that you've done for many years, so I'm honored to be here with you.
Thank you. Well, Herb is a community activist and a historian, a preservationist, and a freelance writer. I didn't know that. He's president and CEO of the Unity Coalition, offering leadership, protection, and promotion of Latinx, Hispanic, LGBTQ rights. He's publisher and editor-in-chief of Ambient magazine, and he's the unofficial church historian of the Miami Beach Community Church, and we're going to get into that a little bit later on. But talk to us really about your real job. Okay,
Sure.
Unity Coalition. What is it? What do you do with it? How does the community benefit? How do we help?
Thank you very much. Well, Unity Coalition, Coalición Unida, started in 2002, really because of a lack of representation for underserved communities, specifically the Hispanic, Indigenous, and LGBT community within South Florida. Who would have known? Everybody's a minority in South Florida, but that group in particular seemed to need a little more representation. And we started out really because there was a challenge to the Human Rights Ordinance, and honestly, I had a regular job. Everybody else did. The intention was just to help with that one election and go home and go back to your regular life. And we realized that there was a need. There was a need for referrals to attorneys and doctors and just representation. And from that, we've grown. Our focus is really education and leadership for underserved minorities in South Florida.
And your show, you have your own show.
Absolutely.
And you have a couple of shows, I think. Talk about that and the reach. Well, I think you told me it goes to Colombia.
Yes, there's COVID changed all of our lives for better or worse, but certainly changed it. And when you do events like Celebrate Orgullo, which is a 15-day in-person event that we do every October, we just finished this year's 11th annual, and you're thrown something like a world epidemic, you got to get creative. So the TV show was born out of necessity, if you will. It's called UCTV. And at the same time, we started doing a lot of work in Colombia for a couple of reasons. The Colombian community is the second or third largest Hispanic group in South Florida. So what happens here affects Colombia. What happens in Colombia affects us here. And I'd say even more so with the LGBT community specifically. So it just made sense. And it started out as many of us did, humanity, really,
Right.
Sending care packages, sending, health kits and food and all of that. And it's grown. We now have actual presence there with 7, we call them ambassadors and a director locally. And we're thrilled that in Bogota specifically, in Colombia. And this year, we've done a few programs where we've come from Miami over there, but they run programs all year on their own, obviously under the umbrella of Unity Coalition. But this year, we're very excited. In January, we're going to bring a really big program of ours, which we do. It's called TransArt. And TransArt is an artist showcase and conference specifically focused on and about the trans and non-binary communities. So we do that every year in Miami. We've done it for 7 years. We're doing it again this year.
Herb, I wonder if we might explore an opportunity, since the Chamber was tasked with running the Sister Cities program.
Sure.
And George Neary, who we all love,
George.
is one of the co-chairs with Monty Cohn. Maybe we ought to look at exploring a potential sister city relationship with a city that you already are working with, and we could do something.
We would love it. We would love it. But Bogota is obviously the capital. That's where we're focusing on. But we do work in Barranquilla and Cali and in Medellin and other cities as well. But the idea is looking at South Florida. We are a global community. It's not insulated in just our little bubble as much as we think it is. Right. It is important to understand how and why things happen in South Florida, Miami Beach, Miami in general.
Is it a membership-based organization, Unity Coalition?
No, it is not. You can become a member, and that really just gets you on our mailing list, which, careful what you ask for. But no, it is free.
So how do the funds come about for the organization?
A lot of work, a lot of hard work.
Do you have events,
donations, fundraisers, grants, all the traditional ways. Right. We go out of our way to spend as little as possible. We have an amazing office on Brickell Avenue that was donated space to us, very fancy, and we're thrilled to have it. Everybody's salary is donated, including myself. My own salary as the director. So we try to really do as much as we can to put the money right back into the community, because that's where it's needed.
That's fantastic. Well, let's shift gears a little bit, because we wanted to talk about what you just helped produce with the community church on Lincoln Road, which has just celebrated their 100th
centennial.
Yeah.
Back like at you guys as well. We're pioneers in this city.
So talk about what they did, and Pastor Lee, I understand, is only the fifth pastor in the entire 100 years.
Absolutely. And the first female, the first African American. But beyond all of that, beyond all the little boxes she checks off, she's just an amazing leader. She's been working at the church for 30 plus years. She was 10 when she started, by the way, in case she's watching. But she's been very active in the church and the community for many years. So it was a natural progression, if you will, for her. And we couldn't be happier as a church. Miami Beach Community Church was one of the first 6 buildings in the Lincoln Road area. Really on Lincoln Road itself, it was, Carl Fisher's office, which was Van Dyke for many years, is now Lululemon, and the church. That was it. Wow. That was the only 2 buildings on Lincoln Road. So he donated the land in 1921. His wife was very religious and, insisted that any great city needed to have a few infrastructure things like a church, and thank God for that. And then we raised money, $68,000. Can you imagine? That's what it cost to build the sanctuary that we just renovated for.
A few dollars more than that.
Yeah, quite a few more than that. But luckily, the renovation will give us hopefully at least another 100 years of that building.
Hopefully so.
And we have a whole campus, from in the 1950s there were buildings added. It was the main church is Walter DeGarmo, for those architectural nerds out there like myself, which was a preeminent architect at the time, built most of Palm Beach. We had architect Pancoast build the addition. So it's quite a lovely campus there. And it's very unique because it is an urban setting, as we obviously know. So that brings all kinds of interest.
And I think the name is very telling. The Miami Beach Community Church.
We're welcoming.
And you have so many different activities going on. Talk a little bit about what happens in the church on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's a couple of mistruths, if you will. We're a Christian church. We believe in God. All of that stuff. We use the Bible. You'd be amazed how many times people walk by like, what is this place? Well, it's a church. But it is from its inception. The reason why it is part of United Church of Christ and Miami Beach Community Church. We're a community church. We're open and affirming, and those aren't just words on the front door. We had. As you said, this is our 5th pastor. For many, many years, we had
Garth Thompson was a friend of mine in Rotary Club.
Amazing gentleman who also was openly gay and served as the pastor for 34, 35 years at a time that wasn't, so accepting, if you will. It's still not 100% in a lot of places, but that just, to me, that's very telling of the work that we do at the church, the work we've done. We do a lot of food for needy or individuals. We do family packages of food and needs on a weekly basis. We have partnerships with people like or organizations like Trader Joe's, and we have WIN, which is a women's group.
During the pandemic, you were inundated with requests, and
without
like
question.
With Commissioner Richardson, with all the feeding
we
programs.
did several feeding programs with Commissioner Richardson on the campus, and again, it's just. A church needs to be, in my opinion, not just a place you go on the weekend, or any religious institution for that matter. It does have to be part of the community. It has to serve the community, and it also has to listen to the community, what the community's needs are. So, again, being on Lincoln Road, there are definitely unique needs that we need to address. And what the church looked like in 1920 and in 1950 does not. It certainly looks very different today, and that's a good thing. It reflects the demographics. It reflects everything. It was the first movie theater in Miami Beach.
Is that right?
Yeah, one of the early pastors, the first pastor, said, "Let's start playing movies here." And from what I've heard, he got a lot of backlash because the diehards were like, "This church is no place for movies," but. He did. We were the first library. We certainly were welcoming to tens of thousands of soldiers during World War II, presidents, you name it. But those are headlines. Really, the people, the neighborhood, the individuals that come. We have members that drive from Pinecrest and from Homestead every week.
And you told me that MDPL had its offices originally there.
Yeah. My personal relationship has gone back and forth with that facility, with that campus. I was executive director of Miami Design Preservation League for many years, and our offices were there before we moved them to Ocean Drive. So I knew Garth well. I knew Cynthia Lee, our pastor today, worked with her regularly, and I attended church. I also used to chair the Historic Preservation Board for the City of Miami Beach. So the project itself that we just completed, I was personally involved with for many, many years, getting the approvals and all that. So,
well, congratulations on a great job.
Thank you.
And thank you for all of your hard work, both on Unity Coalition and on the church. You are recognized, or were recognized, and I'm probably going to misspeak on this, but you were recognized as one of the 5 most important people to meet in Miami Beach.
Something like that. I'm sure my mother had something to do with that. But thank you, yes. And really, the church, this is more than, like I said, just a religious infomercial for the church. Right. It's really a place. So anybody that's interested, MiamiBeachCommunityChurch.org or .com, and just come by. Absolutely.
Well, Herb, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
You are a good news story, and we appreciate your time today.
Thank you very much.
Please catch our show every Friday at noon on Miami Beach Chamber's Facebook page. And remember, tag us and share your own What's Good Miami Beach stories. If you send it to us and we like the story, we're going to have you on the air with us. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
What's Good Miami Beach is sponsored by noted plastic surgeon Dr. Baruch Jacobs and the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center. Dr. Jacobs has been referred to by the New York Times as a plastic surgeon who keeps Miami Beach beautiful. Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery has a state-of-the-art operating room and offers medical aesthetic services and VIP hotel and surgical packages. We invite you to contact us to enjoy a consultation and experience What's Good Miami Beach at the Miami Beach Cosmetic and Plastic Surgery Center.